Hello there. This is Brother Ausar. I'm Shanti. Y'all thought I was gone, but nah, I'm back and I'm coming in hot. So, I'm coming back to touch back on the topic of demonic hijackings, part 2. Since I last made that video back in February, it has just been an onslaught, a slew of just these, not so much random acts of violence. Because you can't even call them random anymore. It's just one after another, after another, after another. Whether you heard about it, a lot of it's locally, like from the states from which it happened, but in some cases, it's since we have the usage of the internet, the stories can be much more easily shared, and we have the reporting of various YouTube channels, YouTubers. One of my personal favorite is Dawson Speaks, or Dawson Denise on YouTube. He does a very good job at reporting these acts of violence based upon, if it's been like a mental health crisis someone is going through, or people just plain evil. But since I last made this video, I've read and heard of stories of just people killing their own family, kids, teenagers killing their own family, just people shooting in the church or shooting at the church, or just crimes and just criminal acts of violence against people. But a lot of it, we want to claim it as mental health crisis or mental health problems, which could be in fact true. Somebody who has a bachelor's in sociology and pursuing their master's in social work, human behavior and the human mind has just been my life's work. Even though down to watching myself, studying myself, I watch my own behaviors and what triggers certain thoughts and what causes me to have a reaction to certain things. But as you grow older and you grow spiritually and mentally, you tend to shut down those triggers, okay, that would cause you to have violent actions or have malicious thoughts. That has been a problem of mine for a very long time. Even as I'm still ascending now, a lot of the old things are boiling back up to the top, and I guess part of how I deal with things, I like to have a plan of action. Okay, what's causing it? What brings it up? How can I effectively deal with it and let it be done with me forever? And but these cases of which I'm speaking of, albeit a teenager slaughtering his whole family because his dad was mad at him because he stayed up all night, or the pastor's son. This is much more recently. A pastor's son devised a plan to murder his own dad, and then he injured his mom. And now this 16-year-old, 17-year-old is in jail now, and his mom is in the hospital recovering. And when she gets out, she has nobody to go home to. She's going back home to an empty house and heartbreak. And just also much more recently in New York, this lady from Trinidad, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll go back and I'll correct myself. But she moved to America for a better life, and she told her 22-year-old grown son to go get a job so he could better support himself. His response was to go back and murder her, shot her clean in the head. I don't know how much more barbaric that can be to your own flesh and blood. Somebody who brought you into this world, they just want you to have ownership of your own and have your own instead of living and dependent on their supply of finances and food. But you go right back and say, no, forget all that. Fuck all that. I'm gonna kill you for telling me to be a grown man and take care of myself. In this particular case, which I'm talking about, that happened in New York. The man had, can't call him a boy because he was 22 years old, so he's a grown man. He had a series of mental health issues, and just last year they had to put a court order on him against his own mother so he could stay away from her. Because the last time, before he actually killed her, he attacked her and told her right then and there that he would kill her. If that wasn't enough red flags to get him out and away from her, I don't know what was. But a mother's love just overshadows everything. And she defied the court order and let him back in the house, and now she's dead. You know, me personally, I could love someone to the moon, to the stars, to the ends of the galaxy. But when it comes down to stuff like that, I'm gonna have to just love you from a distance. And there's nothing that can bridge that distance. I mean, once you done talk about murdering me because you mad at me, or doing something to me because you mad at me, listen, we just gotta like sever ties and just go on about our way. I hope that you grow and mature and get better, but you can never come back around me. And I have no problem with severing ties that can better, that can, if it's going to save my life, if me staying away from you is going to keep me out of jail or keep me from being murdered, then so be it. I mean, I don't recall me needing somebody that bad to the point where I'm risking my entire existence just to have them in my life, but I was still, in all love of the universe, still wish them the best. But self-preservation does come with all of this. You got to protect yourself more than anything. And I say all that to say that, albeit some of these cases does involve mental health, but that's just another door for these beings, these malicious demonic beings, to walk through. I mean, the mind state is already depleted, so now they have easier access to come in and make them do whatever they want them to do. I just honestly wish a lot of this stuff that I've seen, and it's way more stories than this, but I don't want to make hours long video to covering each one of these cases, and as an amateur news reporter, because a lot of it you can't just go right there to the internet and just find out about these things. But it affects me more because, one, I'm an empath, and two, this is my career. This is my life's work. This is part of my mission here on this earth. And if I'm picking up a case where, somebody's threatening their own family members and they can't seem to just get things right, I'm gonna pull out all stops within my power to protect those people. Because I know from a human perspective of things, or they got mental health problems, or they own that stuff, or this and that, all that could be true, but there's also a root to that too. I don't make these claims based off religion or anything. It's just I come from a realm of recognizing things spiritually, spiritual recognition, and I can just see these things from a mile away, and it's just appalling at how fast these things are happening and why they're happening. And it makes me sit here and think and wonder, are we doing our job? Like how effective are we? Like, are we just sitting around in our houses playing with crystals and oils and hoping for the best? Or are we out here actively in the communities trying to like have people have access to resources so they can get out of the ruts that they're in, so they don't feel depleted, so they have to feel as though they have to turn to alcohol and drugs and all these things that just opens up the door for these entities to just fly in and just have their way. I just hope by me making this video and releasing it, it makes you think of, okay, how much more can we do, and how effective are we? You know, because like I said, like I just said, we could just sit around here and meditate and look at the moon and play with crystals and talk about zodiac signs all day, but how is that helping with what the problem at hand here? You know, it's real work to be done out here, and that does involve, you know, being political, getting out into the community, standing on platforms like YouTube, making these videos. You know, a lot of the stuff we can do for free. We can for free go out here and put in the time, put in the work, and watch the fruits of our labor, you know, arise. But just sitting around here and projecting images on social media, thinking everything's gonna be okay, that's not it. So I really hope that at the timing of this video is appropriate, and I really hope it makes you think of how much more we can do with in the community, in our surroundings. Are we growing where we are planted? Are we helping those that really need the help? You know, I just really, even just me sitting here, it's just really making me think of how much more that we can do, and I'm gonna come up with a cohesive plan with myself and in my inner circle as to like what more we can do, and with what we have, because I believe in ripples turning into waves. So that's all I have for right now. Feel free to give me any type of commentary, any type of suggestions of what we can do actually, and go out into the world and be awesome. I'm Shanti.